This month, Sarah Mullally, formerly the Bishop of London, was elected as the Archbishop of Canterbury, the head of the Anglican Church. You may have heard this in the news. She is the first woman to hold the post since the Church of England was created almost 500 years ago. And to some, this move highlights the changing roles of women in Christian churches. To talk about it this morning is our faith contributor, John Longhurst. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
You haven't been on the airwaves with me since you received the Order of Canada, so I'm going to take a minute here just to publicly congratulate you on all of your work. We've been spoiled with you in Manitoba, writing your faith columns and doing your journalistic work around faith issues for years. But I just thought this was so well received, well deserved. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And here you are to shed light on yet another story that's important. What do you think the appointment of a woman as Archbishop of Canterbury means for Anglicans?
Well, it's a very big deal in England. Since the founding of that church almost 500 years ago, only men have held that position. So you could say she broke what you might call the final stained glass ceiling for Anglicans in that country. Now, many people may not be familiar with the Archbishop of Canterbury. That position is the head of the Church of England. But even saying that, she's not like the Pope in the Roman Catholic Church. She's not anyone with supreme authority over the church like in that denomination. The Anglican Church is more of a collegial body, and each parish and diocese is independent, and it can make its own decisions. She's more like what you would call the chief encourager, the lead pastor, the teacher, the moral voice of the church in England. And it's similar for the worldwide Anglican Communion, which includes Canada. There are 85 million members in that communion in 165 countries. For them, the Archbishop of Canterbury is the spiritual or symbolic head of the church.
What is the history of we know there haven't been the leaders in this position, but what's the history of women as leaders at any positions in the Anglican Church?
Well, until the middle of the 20th century, it was widely understood in that church, as well as many other churches, that only men could be priests or ministers, leaders of individual congregations, and bishops, which are leaders of dioceses or groups of congregations. This is similar to how other Christian denominations have operated as well. But that started to change for Anglicans and other churches too in the 1970s, and that's when Anglicans in the U.S., New Zealand, and Canada began ordaining women for the first time as priests, a decision that opened the way for them to become bishops as well. Since that time, Anglicans have slowly been opening leadership positions to women. The first woman to be appointed a bishop happened in 1989 in the U.S. In Canada, it happened here in 1993 with Linda Nichols. And in England, it was in 2015. Now, the first time a woman was made the primate, or what is called the head of the National Anglican Church, was in 2006 in the U.S. And that happened in Canada in 2019. And now it's happened in the United Kingdom too. But it's not without controversy.
What's the controversy around it?
Well, for Anglicans and others who oppose women being church leaders, it's because of the way they read the Bible. In particular, they refer to what the Apostle Paul wrote in the book of 1 Timothy. And that's where he said he didn't permit women to, quote, teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, they are to remain quiet, close quote. So those who oppose women in leadership in the church see this as a literal and timeless truth for all Christians for all time. But many biblical scholars argue that Paul was just referring to a specific situation in a specific church in a specific time. And today, Christians continue to be divided over this issue, and that's what's happening now in England over Mullally's appointment. Some conservative Anglicans in England and in other countries oppose it because they say it goes against the teachings of the Bible. Now, the Anglican Church is not the only church that has this issue in front of it. It's also an issue for Roman Catholics, and women in that church are also pressing for more opportunities to be leaders, including as priests. And one of the groups leading this charge is the Catholic Network for Women's Equality, which is based right here in Canada. It believes that the Roman Catholic Church needs more women involved in decision-making if it is to be truly inclusive and to be the kind of church that makes younger people, especially women, feel welcome.
What about people who are wondering and who say it's controversial on the other side, that it's controversial that it took Anglicans until 2025, our time, to appoint a female head of their church?
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. And it would be easy to be critical of the Anglican Church for taking so long to appoint women to the highest leadership. But they would do well to remember one thing, and that is that of 193 countries in the United Nations, only 13 are governed by women. For G7 countries, there's only one woman as leader, and she's in Italy. As for Fortune 500 companies, just over 50 have women as CEOs. And closer to home, we've only had 11 women premiers of Canadian provinces in 150 years, and we've never elected a woman as prime minister. And in saying that, I'm not trying to excuse Anglicans or any other religious group for not having more women leaders, but I am wanting to remind us that when it comes to women being leaders and in leadership, there's a long way to go in all areas of society.
Thanks for the conversation in the column today, John.
You bet. Thank you.